Hello and welcome. Today's episode, we're going to talk about what things I really like and really dislike after 1 week of living full time in a Class C RV. It's been just over a week since we moved into the RV, and we love it actually more than we imagined. The entire process has been far easier than we anticipated, which is shocking. It's really shocking, but we're loving it. We don't love everything, though. First, I'm going to talk about the things that we dislike. There are fewer of those, which is super exciting. First up is my side of the bed. In our bedroom, the bed is not evenly centered. And so on Dane's side of the bed, there's quite a bit of space. And on my side of the bed, there's like almost nothing, not even enough room to do a side shuffle. I have a lot of really great things on this side of the bed. It is a little challenging to navigate. I have to crawl onto the bed to get into my clothes, and that's not as ideal as you would want. The floors in the RV are cold. Not just cold, not just a little bit cold, not just put on your slippers and no big deal. Like they are really cold. We did move in towards the tail end of winter, so we've had temperatures down into the 20s. We do get temperatures lower than that though, and definitely you need to figure something out to combat how cold the floors are. Our lower kitchen cabinets. This was one thing that we had planned on having done in the renovation and it didn't get completed. And holy cow, who dreamed up this setting? There's so much wasted space in this teeny tiny little kitchen. It's just a shame it wasn't planned out a little bit better. You have to Tetris everything. Basically, you find containers that fit and put them in, you stack them, you use the ottomans. What we realize is that we need to put the things that we get to absolutely the most one step easier than the basket that's behind it. There's a lot of shuffling and moving around. You get really, really good at utilizing your space, putting things in certain locations where they make more sense, not make more sense as in a kitchen, you put kitchen stuff, in a living room, you put living room stuff, in a bathroom, you put bathroom stuff. It's not quite like that. You actually use the space that you have the best way, almost regardless of if it's what normally goes in that area. We have the three ottomans and absolutely love them. In order to use them to the best of their ability in several configurations, we just simply have to slide them around. They're fantastic storage. They're very comfortable to sit on, and it was one of our best purchases. You just have to realize that you're going to be moving them around. We do not have self-leveling on this RV, so we level it with blocks. That's great and not uncommon. However, with temperature change on top of having to level them, we really find that the RV doesn't remain leveled, especially on soft ground. That is something that we are planning on fixing. It's just sort of an awkward, time-consuming issue that keeps us a little off kilter. The refrigerator size. This is absolutely the least favorite thing in this RV is the size of the refrigerator. And I'm not just talking about the exterior size. I'm talking about how they set things up on the inside of this refrigerator. It's 22 years old. It is a Dometic. It keeps things cold. We can fit about a week's worth of food for three of us, kind of, if we're super creative. The good thing about this is that it is a good refrigerator. And because we are stationary, we are bringing our full size refrigerator from our house. And there's a covered portion of the patio at our son's house that we can have that. And that pretty much solves that problem. But the refrigerator size is really small. This is a super bougie complaining complaint. In our house, we had a room designated for an exercise room. And obviously, in the RV, we do not have that. My son's garage is set up as an exercise room, but it's not temperature controlled. I know that this is a super first world. Why are you even bringing it up issue? It's just a room that we use a lot in our house. Absolutely daily in our house. And even though all the same equipment is in an outside gym, temperature fluctuations make that not as appealing. I'm sure we'll get over this. Let's move on to what we love. I absolutely love this cabinet butcher block area. We use it for several different things, but mostly it's turned into pretty much a home office. When we built it, we were pretty sure that this was going to be our dining area. And as we brought things in, that shifted pretty quickly. And we realized that between me having a business and working on my computer, my husband gaming, my daughter homeschooling, the only way to be able to make it work is if we actually just turned it into more of a computer desk area that all three of us can rotate through and use. And that's worked great. So what do we do when we aren't using that? We actually have a 6-foot foldable table that we've had for years and I've used for many different things. And we just set that up for eating dinner, game night. You would think that setting things up and moving things around is a hassle, but once you get a really good system, you know when you're using things and where they go and how to shift them. The system actually becomes really easy, and this has not been a hassle at all. How much light is in this RV, day or night? In the daytime, it floods with sunlight. We have to keep some of the curtains closed. And at nighttime, there are so many lights in this RV. It's too bright almost 24 hours a day. I think it's a fantastic problem to have because we can always do things to make it darker. But if we had the opposite problem, it would be really hard to be in here. Attached to that is our ability to use curtains to block out the outside, the heat, the cold, the light, people looking in. And I also use Reflectix and a black twin sheet to create insulated shades for every window. It is so fast and easy to clean. I can't even tell you. It's so fast and easy to clean. Does the RV get dirty more quickly? Yes. It doesn't even bother me because it is so fast and easy to clean. We have a propane heater that is outstanding, and we have an air conditioner that is also outstanding. We are in that period of time where it's 30 degrees in the morning and 70 in the afternoon. So we've actually used both many times, as well as using it last summer, the air conditioner and the furnace being on all winter while we were completing this renovation, and they are fantastic. The composting toilet. I wanted this. I really, really did not want a black tank. I'm so thankful we went the composting toilet route. We have cleaned it for the first time. It was so much easier than I thought. One thing about it, as a side note, as something that I dislike, we asked the renovation company to divert the urine into the gray tank, and he had never done it and he didn't feel comfortable, so it didn't get done. And I would have really loved it more had we gotten the urine diverter installed. Our bathroom area. I didn't think that I would like having the bathroom open to the bedroom. And I know that there are other configurations, maybe I would like just as much, but I was very pleasantly surprised because I actually love it. It basically makes our bedroom space so much bigger. We get changed in it. There's plenty of room for two people to move around. The sink is amazing. The shower's been great. The on-demand hot water heater. I mean, really, our bathroom has been a fantastic space that I didn't expect. Something small. I mentioned how well lit the RV is day and night. We have a reading light right above our bed, and it's probably our favorite light in this whole place. At our traditional home, we had 2 nightstands with 2 lights, and it worked fine because that's what we had, but this one right above us, we absolutely love it. The placement of our electronics, computers, TV, stereo, and I talked about this with the ottomans and how much we love our ottomans and the space that we put in with the butcher block countertop. Because it turned into a computer area, we ended up having my husband's computer screen that we watch TV on. We set up a bass and speakers to use for sound. We turn music on a lot. We watch shows on that. It's really much better used than we thought it was going to be. I guess I would have thought I didn't want it to be used for that. And now that we've done it, I actually really like the way we have it set up. I also have this set up here in my bedroom, and I have a way to use my laptop on the couch with one of the ottomans and a breakfast tray that fits perfectly over the top of the ottoman. So I have 3 locations that I have my computer in, all of which I like equally as well and use for different things. My daughter has tons of room to homeschool, just as much as we had at our house. And my husband, when he sets up his gaming, is really fantastic. On top of that, having the TV in the bedroom and the monitor out in the living room, it just makes it so we have so many options to use computers, watch TV, listen to music, and it's so fun. Velcro, magnets, S hooks, cup hooks, and command strips. If you've ever lived in an RV, I don't even need to tell you why. They are your friend. Being in an RV really, really forces you to confront your stuff, papers, junk drawers, extra, everything that you don't need, from socks to Tupperware to glasses. It's really freeing, letting go of a lot of the accumulation and realizing, yeah, we don't need this. You do need to be very deliberate. The moment things come into the RV, you have to have a place for everything and put them away. I think in a small space, there's a lot more take care of it now instead of set it down and wait till later. The good thing is you're not accumulating piles of things. I guess the downside of that, if you would count it as a downside, is that you really have to address things when they happen. You don't leave them out. I think that's a pro. Creativity and the use of space. We had on the inside of our cabinet doors this little lip, and I thought, oh, that would fit like corkboard. And then we could put those papers and things that you want to keep, like the coupon for your daughter to go to the jumping place and the recipe that you use all of the time and things like that. I could peg on the inside where they would be out of the way and not looking messy, and it would keep them contained. And I wasn't sure how my husband would like it. When I opened the door and he saw the corkboards and he saw that I had stuck some stuff, he's like, we need to get more corkboard. We need to put it on the inside of every single one of these cabinets. You immediately realize that you have real estate you haven't utilized the best of your ability. And it's a way to keep keys and anything you can hang on a peg or pin. It keeps it out of the way and cleaned up and neat, and you know where you can find it. I think, like most people say, you spend a lot more time together. We've spent more time playing games. We've spent more time outside. We've spent more time even with family, which is something I thought that would be the opposite. There are a few things I'm going to mention. I don't know that they're pros and cons. There just are things that you have to be aware of. First thing is, if you are the first one to get up in the morning. So during the week when my husband works, it's him. On the weekend, it's me. And even in the week, although my husband leaves for work, I'm up earlier than our daughter. You really have to plan out what you need: socks, water, clothes, so that you make the least amount of noise and everything is there and easy to access. We thought when we moved in, we'd really get in each other's way. We'd always be tripping over each other. We'd be shuffling our bodies around to get past each other. And that really hasn't happened. It's not that you don't say, hey, I need to get past you. It's just so much less than we imagined it was going to be. Cooking is not as difficult. I had not ever used this microwave convection oven, and it's considerably smaller, so I had concerns about that. We have had a gas stove for years. However, this gas cooking top that we have hadn't used. That's actually been a lot easier than we thought it was going to be. Also, we have a grill and we have a griddle right outside, just like we did in our house, and we use them all the time, just like we did in our house. So it really hasn't been as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. There's always something to do. It seems like there's constantly little projects. I know that as we've been here for a little bit, that's gotten easier. You start to figure out, oh, this works better over here, and that's easier. That process, though, it seems like there's always stuff to do. It's kind of fun and exciting, and at the same time, it feels really good to sort of get things where they need to be and not have to do as many little projects. But there are always little projects to do, much more so than in a house. We are full-time stationary in our son's backyard, and there are definitely some pros to not traveling. One, The cab of our truck we use as a closet. I installed a shower curtain rod with hooks, which is the bottom of my daughter's bed, and it was just a solid piece of wood. And we were able to use that as a hanging closet. And that was massive as far as storage goes. Yes, when we drive somewhere, we do need to take the clothes out and lay them down. We've had to do that once already. It's a hassle, it's worth the space. We can use the underneath of the RV for storage. And I don't mean the containers that open, I mean actually underneath the RV, like where the tires are. We have Rubbermaid containers, we have extra things in them. We're allowing ourselves time in this process to decide what do we really need? What can maybe go to a storage unit? What can we get rid of? And in the meantime, we're using Rubbermaid containers underneath. Do I think this looks a little white trashy? Yes. However, for right now, that's how we're processing through what to keep and what to get rid of. We have our regular fridge that's outside, which I already mentioned, and that is massive, not just because this refrigerator is small. We could do a week's worth of shopping in this refrigerator and make it work. Having the refrigerator outside just it means all of our drinks are always cold. It's like the underneath of the RV. It's extra space that we get to use. And maybe in the end, in a while, we won't use it at all, or we won't use it much, or we'll realize it's easy to live without it. At least for this transition and for extra meat in the freezer, it's working beautifully. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll keep you posted on what we love and what we would like to change in the future.